Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon. Those up the middle. It's intercepted at the 40. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 25, 20. Derek Brooks all the way. There it is. The dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Happy New Year, everybody. Liam Mitchell back with Mr. Chuck Fonshell. Good to be back on here, Chuck. It's been an extremely busy couple weeks for me, but in that time
for everybody, man. It's the holidays. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. How were your holidays, man?
Fantastic. They were even better with the Bucs 40-point win in Detroit and then a comeback win against Atlanta. And now we are officially going to the playoffs for the first time in 13 years.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
It feels oh so good. I got my new Tom Brady jersey on that I got for Christmas. Little retro windbreaker that I also got for Christmas. Had to throw them on for the video. But yeah, Chuck, I mean, how are your holidays, man?
You know what? It's always nice to catch up with family and then unplug for a little bit and just remember the reason for the season. So it's good. And now here we are. It is a brand new year, 2021. We have put behind us the ugliness of the last year and ugliness of 13 years of playoff-less football for our Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. No matter what happens Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons, and the outcome is a little bit more in doubt, we'll talk about that here in a moment, we're going to play some playoff football the week after that.
It feels surreal. It really does. You know, I told my buddies, I don't think it'll really hit me until we actually kick off that playoff game, that it's just been so unbelievably long since I felt this feeling as a fan to get to see that.
Remind me, Liam, what exactly happened with you the last time the Bucs played in the playoffs? 13 years ago?
The Bucs played in the playoffs. So I'm currently 25 years old.
Right.
I was a 12-year-old kid in 6th grade. Boy, it has been a very long time. I do remember getting extremely mad at Joe Buck at one point in the game. I think I even cussed at him, maybe as a 12-year-old, and I don't think my parents were very happy, but it's been a very long time. I just remember starting that game extremely hot against the Giants, and then it went.
Do you know what's sad is in 2000 or at the end of the 2000 season, the beginning of 2008, I was training with a mobile DJ company, and I had to drive up to Panama City for a wedding show that was on a Sunday. And I did not get to watch a single snap of that game. I was following it on my phone. Of course, we didn't have like cool phones back then. I was just getting like score updates. And so it's been even longer than just 2007 since I've seen playoff football as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan.
So you're going back to like Edel Shepard in 2005, man.
Yeah,
Edel Shepard drop.
Mm-hmm.
That was a game the Bucs I thought really should have won. But hey, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It happens. That was now 15 years ago. So we're looking at this season. So the biggest news that we'll jump into before we even hop into the Bucs Falcons a little bit. Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Steve McClendon. Just our luck. Really the first time all season that we've really had to deal with COVID stuff. It looks like we may be missing Devin White for the wild card game. Chuck, talk about that a little bit and how much of an impact this might make, in this Week 17 game, and if we're missing Devin White possibly in the wild card game.
Well, what you're looking at in the immediate future against Atlanta is you are missing your second and third leading sackers on the defense. You've got Jason Pierre-Paul, he's sitting at 9.5. And then after that, you had Devin White with 9 sacks and Shaquille Barrett with 8 or 8.5. So you're losing about half of the team's sack output. That's not great. You're also losing Steve McClendon, who we brought in to help shore up the loss that we suffered from Vita Vea, a guy that has been helpful in continuing this team's run as the #1 ranked rush defense in the NFL. So it just got more difficult to beat the Falcons. Fortunately, looking forward, the only one that has a positive test is Devin White. Now, what does that mean? If he tested positive on Thursday, then potentially he could be eligible to play in a Sunday wild card game, but he would not be able to practice at all, and he would have to travel on his own to wherever that wild card game is played. So it's a reasonable expectation that the wild card playoff game will be played without Devin White. That means that it would be very beneficial for this Bucs team to run up the score on offense and beat the Atlanta Falcons so that when we miss Devin White, we can miss him against an NFC East champion. You don't want to be missing Devin White against the likes of a Seattle, against a New Orleans, against Green Bay, because there are still as many as 6 different teams that the Bucs could play in their wild card game. If they finish with the 5 seed, then they'll either face New York, Dallas, or Washington. And if they get the 6 seed, based on the outcomes of other teams' games, they could play New Orleans, they could play Green Bay, or they could play Seattle. Those are not 3 teams that I want to play against without our captain, Devin White.
Look at that, Chuck. The man of knowledge. I love that, Chuck. Because I was still a bit iffy. I didn't really know what was going on with the COVID stuff, and you just nailed it, my friend. Thank you. So you just helped me out there too.
That just comes from obsessively scrolling Twitter at 1:00 in the morning.
But no, like you said, I think it's in the Bucs' best interest to get a win on Sunday and finish with that 5th seed and travel to either Washington, New York, or Dallas. Crazy in that division. That, you know, it could be a 6-10 team, it could be a 7-9 team. Just wildness going on in the NFC East. One thing's for sure, we need Kevin Minter to step up, the likes of Anthony Nelson. We need some of these defenders to step up in the loss of Devin White, Shaq Barrett, and you know it's going to be big time. We got to get these guys to step up. In other news, Ronald Jones is off the COVID list. I know he's still dealing with that finger. Is he a go on Sunday? Do you know?
He has been a full participant in practice. So you
Good.
would expect him to play. Obviously, when you're down a pinky finger, it didn't get cut off. He's not Ronnie Lott. You think it could affect one's ability to catch the football, but hey, it's Ronald Jones. We kind of accept the fact that he's going to be a liability in the screen game and in the pass receiving game. So, if Chris Godwin can do it with like a middle finger, a pointer finger, whichever one was broken for him, you'd like to think that Ronald Jones can tough it out and do what needs to be done. They definitely missed him in the first half against Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. You saw Leonard Fournette. He's a battering ram. He's big and he's strong and he's fast, but his running style is basically just take the ball and run hard at a predetermined place. He's not a vision guy. He's not a make you miss guy. Ronald Jones is the most talented running back on this team. LaShawn McCoy used to be very good, but he's lost a step. He's in his 30s now. So you'll like the thought of Ronald Jones being able to help this offense really gel and really continue a strong output, especially with a healthy offensive line. Donovan Smith is over his ankle issues. Tristan Wirfs hasn't allowed a sack, I think, in 10 straight games. Alni Marpet has passed his concussion woes. So it's full speed ahead on offense right now, and it needs to be, because it's reasonable to expect that this defense will not be as strong as it's been, albeit against lesser competition, the last few games.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you there, Chuck. And, one thing, we just saw this Atlanta team just a couple weeks ago. And one thing's for sure, we want to start a little bit faster in this one. What a turnaround. I know we didn't come on here and talk about it, but what a turnaround from the first half to the second half. Tom Brady throwing for nearly, 340 yards in that second half. Antonio Brown's really come on these past couple weeks. 2 touchdowns for AB. Good to see him get going. Mike Evans, 181 yards last Saturday against Detroit, and now he is at 960. He is only 40 yards shy of being the first receiver in NFL history to start his career with 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Big applause to Mike. I really hope he gets that 1,000 yards. No one more deserving. He's honestly already a top 10 player in Bucs history. Unbelievable talent. Chuck, do you think he gets it? 40 yards. That's all he needs.
I think he gets it in the first half, maybe even the first quarter. You know they're going to be looking his way. The Buccaneers want to win this game. If they go up by an obnoxious amount of points, they might start to pull starters. But this is a game that the coaching staff wants to win, that the players want to win. It's a game, honestly, that they need to win. You need the 5 seed, especially now what you're looking at. Missing your defensive captain, one of them. But more than that, it's not only wild card weekend where you would have a favorable matchup. With that 5 seed, you stand to play the lesser remaining team in a divisional round if you can win that wild card game. If you're a 6 seed, you're going to go through the grinder. Now, it's been done before. The Giants won a Super Bowl from the 6 seed. The Packers won a Super Bowl from the 6 seed. Now we've got 7 teams from either conference playing, but you want to give yourself as favorable a draw as you can. This is attainable. This is a Falcons team. It's banged up. They've lost so many close games. You hope maybe they'll start to check out. You can't count on it. Matt Ryan is still dangerous. Matt Ryan can still sling it. We saw what Calvin Ridley can do. I don't expect Carlton Davis to play in this game. I think they're going to try and give him another week to heal his groin and to rest. So we've seen what he does to Sean Murphy-Bunting and Jordan Whitehead. They didn't play Jamel Dean over him a lot. You wonder if maybe they'll give Jamel Dean more reps opposite Calvin Ridley, see if that's a better matchup, because he tore up this Bucs secondary 2 weeks ago. And you'd like to think maybe we can correct that a little bit to avoid another 17-0 hole.
As you said, Chuck, it is absolutely more favorable moving forward. If we get a win here, it's a go. So don't expect the Bucs to rest anybody unless, like you said, we're up 40-0 like we were against Detroit. But it's a go. We want to get this win. We want that 5th seed, and have more. I mean, most matchups in the playoffs, or every matchup in the playoffs is extremely tough. But regardless, you want to have the most favorable matchup possible, and that is made possible by having that 5th seed. So big game on Sunday. We want to get this win. If we finish 11-5, it would be tied for the second best record in Bucs history. Only 3 other times in Bucs history have we finished 11-5 or better. That's 1999 at 11-5, 2005 at 11-5, and of course 12-4 in 2002. So it would feel very good to finish 11-5. It would be 4 straight wins to end out the regular season. Momentum builds in the National Football League, and it would just be great. So I really hope it starts this Sunday with a win, a sweep against the Falcons, which would be the first time we've swept Atlanta in 5 years now, which would be pretty sweet. And I think we can get it done. Like you said, this is a banged-up Atlanta team. They're 4-11. But let's not overlook them, and let's go get this win. Again, hopefully some of these defenders can step up in the absence of Devin White and Shaq Barrett. And I'm just excited for Bucs football, man. Last game of the regular season. I'm definitely going to have – typically, it feels kind of weird because typically when the regular season's over, as soon as it's over, I'll post like highlight videos of like every touchdown of the Bucs season. But because we're in the playoffs, I'm going to delay it a little bit and wait till the playoffs are over with. And who knows? It could be in February when I'm posting.
Entirely new options now on how to post and the storylines here. We this season, it's already been special. This is if you want to do a quarterback cut up, this is the greatest quarterback season in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise. Tom Brady set the touchdown pass record last week with 36. Would I be greedy to throw out a number like 40? I mean, it could happen. The Falcons' defense is still very susceptible. And this offense, you mentioned Tim Brown earlier. Chris Godwin's healthy. And I almost said Adam Humphries. Scotty Miller's ready to go. Rob Gronkowski is playing at a very high level. Mike Evans is hungry. Ronald Jones is chomping at the bit. He's got fresh legs. He hasn't suited up in 3 weeks. So this is a winnable game. And on defense, while you hate to miss the 3 players we're talking about, because Shaquille Barrett is a guy that presents problems for offensive lines coming off the edge, He ate against the Falcons last year in both games. I think he had like 4.5 combined sacks between the two games. He finished last year against the Falcons in Week 17 with 3 sacks to give him the lead in the NFL for the season. But I'll tell you who I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Khalil Davis. He was our 7th-round draft pick out of Auburn. He's an athletic defensive tackle. He played a little bit sparingly earlier in the season, I want to say against Kansas City. And he's going to get some reps right now because Jeremiah Ledbetter, who had his first sack last week against Detroit, he's been ruled out with a calf injury. So Khalil Davis is the #1 reserve along the defensive line. Anthony Nelson now gets defensive starter reps. So this is an opportunity for him to make some things happen. You mentioned Kevin Minter. He's a guy that's played in Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles' schemes. You don't know if Todd Bowles is actually going to be in the building on Sunday.
Yeah.
He has been away from the team, I think, just on a close contact. I don't think he tested positive, but he's been doing everything remotely. So you don't know if he's going to be calling the plays or if that will fall to maybe our linebackers coach. But here's a fun name that was actually signed, I think, just yesterday off the Patriots practice squad, and because of this year's COVID rules, is eligible to play on Sunday. Jack Sitchie is back with the Bucs and will likely play. He provides some depth. He's played in this defense. So there's still talent on this defense. You know, our safeties have been healthy most of the year. I'm looking for a big game from Antoine Winfield. Antoine Winfield had a game-saving defensive pass deflection against the Falcons in the fourth quarter. And I'd like to see him finish his regular season strong here. Get your hands on a football, young man, and let's finish this season 11-5. Let's get this win, and then we'll figure out what our problems are after that. Do you want to see a Saturday or Sunday playoff game? What's your preference?
I'm just happy we're in the playoffs. I guess I prefer Sunday because it gives you that extra day to prepare. But you know, hey, I'm just happy we're in it, you know. And yeah, I'd love to see Antoine Winfield Jr. finish strong, man. What a find out of that kid we got, man. He's a stud, absolute stud. I'm stoked we got him. All right, Chuck, give me a score prediction for tomorrow.
I called a big offensive performance of the Bucs the last time they played Atlanta, and I hit their defensive score right on the nose. So I'm going to say this time that it's going to be a barn burner. I think Atlanta is going to get their points. I think this Bucs team is better. I think they will outscore them. I'm calling 38-31 Bucs win.
I like it, Chuck. I like it. I'm gonna go Bucs 35, Falcons 22. I think
22.
Defense,
so is there a safety? Is there a missed extra point? Like, be specific here, man. Call your shot.
I just went a little random. I think we'll have Atlanta maybe. Young-Ho Koo doesn't miss a lot of field goals, so I think maybe somewhere in there Atlanta's, hey, we're gonna try to go for 2. Well, they got nothing to lose. I thought 21 at first, and then I was like, yeah, that's a little too basic. Let's change it up a little bit.
Or maybe you're giving the Bucs defense credit, and you're saying that the Falcons are going to have 7 scoring drives, but only 1 finishes in the end zone, and Young-Ho Koo has to kick 6 field goals. Maybe that's what happens.
They found a stud in Young-Ho Koo. I thought he was good with the Chargers too. He just couldn't hit any clutch field goals there. Game-winning type field goals.
He had a chance to force overtime last week in Kansas City, but he missed a surprisingly makeable field goal for him.
Yeah, they played Kansas City tough. That was a surprise when Kansas City kind of overlooks the Falcons there. But yeah, man, again, just Mike Evans. I hope he gets that 1,000 yards. He is narrowing in on the Bucs' all-time touchdown record, which is right now held by Mike Allstott. 71 in regular season play, 78 if you count the playoffs. And I think Mike Evans, including 1 fumble recovery against the Giants in the end zone a couple years ago in 2018, has 62 career touchdowns with the Bucs. He is getting pretty darn close to breaking that record as well. We'll see. Maybe he'll do it next season. And speaking of records, it's been going like this every year. I make a video every year, every touchdown of the Buccaneers 2019-2020 season. The Bucs tied that mark for a single season with 54 last week, 1 touchdown, and they break it yet again. This would be like 3 straight seasons they've broken their touchdown record for a season. So I'd expect them to do it. Plus, with the playoffs coming in, it's going to be – I always like making these videos. It makes me happy. I love making the highlight videos, so I'll be excited to put that together and then highlights of all the players. But it starts this Sunday. Let's get a win against the Falcons. Finish 11-5, get that 5th seed, and then we finally get to see playoff football. So, as always, thank you, Chuck, for coming on. Happy New Year's to all you guys watching. It is finally 2021. Everybody stay safe. And, Chuck, let's get this win on Sunday.
Happy New Year. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs, guys.